Hey everyone. Hi. How y'all doing? Welcome to Game Dev Monday, where hopefully the stream doesn't crash. At least I hope not. There we go. Oh, so technically this would be the first Game Dev Monday. Technically. Where we can get full on into making this work. Hi, good morning. Good morning. Hello. Stream gods be merciful. Yeah, suck the last one crash because like I really wanted to get like head dive deeper into like making this whole thing work. So it's just kind of like, ugh, it's fine. Well, hello. Hi. But yeah. So today, these are today's goals. Today's just gonna be NPC development. I really want to try and develop more of these characters. Because I can tell a lot of the writing is going to be based off of these characters, whether it be the romance relationship, friendship relationship. I want to be able to make it work. Make them real. They're not just like NPC you can just ignore. I mean, you should have the choice to ignore them if you wish, if you just want to do a full-on farming sim. But like, because these NPCs are going to be a big help in upgrading your farm and all that stuff, I want to make sure they are as real as possible and not just like, oh, they're characters that you can just forget about and throw away and all that stuff. And I forgot to turn off my iPad. That's alright. It's fine. It's fine. You know what? Let me go into that. Today's chill. Today's pretty chill. Come on, iPad. Don't start with it today. Not today. Not today. There you go. Just cool. Alright, there we go. That works. Alright. But yeah, that is the goal today, is to kind of really flesh out these quests and also flesh out the NPCs themselves. What do you guys think? Should we give them names? Would names work for, or is it like, because I feel like giving them just like the necromancer, then you have your main villains who are named. Well, I mean, if the naming conventions are like that, we could give them names. Does it work steady? Nice. We should probably name the NPCs. If we're gonna make them real, we might as well name them. That's the question though, as to what to name them. So might as well start from the top and we'll just think about them. Are you gonna vote? Sure. I mean, like, again, these streams are here for me to hold accountability, for me to be able to continue developing this game, and as well as being able to like move forward. That would work. Yeah, just So the witch. We have the witch. Again, up above, those are just concept ideas. Not meant to be like full on. These are like the designs. No, they're not. They're concept ideals that I'd like in line for what I had in mind for the witch. She looks very charismatic and sexy. At the same time, she is very knowledgeable. And she wants to learn. She wants adventure in the great wide somewhere. Even though she's a witch and won't be necessarily accepted by society. At least the society run by the Holy Order. We can have temporary names for right now. If we feel like changing it later, we can totally change it later. Yeah, I'm just trying to... Should that be the priority? As long as I can date all the romance options equally, I can be satisfied. Extremely fair. I still want to be able to have, like... I want this to be, like, if you want a poly, go ahead and poly. You can poly all 5. Because I want this to be more... It's going to be so hard to program. It's going to be so hard to kind of, like, organize and make sure everyone's, like, is on the same page. I mean, not necessarily. Depending on how I organize it. It's not like they have to all live in the same house. It's like... They all live in the hamlet. You're just in a relationship with them. It would be nice to have them move in, but it would be so much a pain in the neck to be able to try and move all of them into one house. But yeah, it's just like, regardless. I want you be able to like go into a poly relationship with all 5, some of them, or go just strict mono relationship with any of them. And I want it to be just good vibes. I don't want it to be like, oh, you're gonna break my heart, blah 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 blah. If you tell me no, it's like no, these are all adults, and these are all on the darker side of fantasy, where they're not gonna look at you weirdly if you break their heart or just say no to them or break up with them or like that. Like, they got shit to do. They have shit to do. A Hecate be too terribly on the nose? I don't think so. Well, let me go ahead and let's actually go ahead and make a list of concept ideas. So name ideas. We'll go ahead and do name ideas like that. So of course we have Sabrina, Hecate, Hecate or Hecate, I can't remember how to pronounce it properly. And mind you, all of the NPCs will have at least partial voice acting. I don't know if I'll be able to like figure out full voice acting. It will fully depend on how much of voice acting there needs to be versus a budget on being able to fund all the voice acting. So Belladonna, that's a spell component. I kind of don't want to like combine. I don't want to like clash them together. It'd be kind of cute, but I don't want to clash it. Hecate, thank you so much. Let me actually write that in as a pronunciation note. T. There we go. Thank you. And then Lydia would be another one. So let's go with this. We'll give like name ideas for like each three. Seraphina sounds cool. We're going into territory. So Lydia or Seraphina, because I don't want to like give them like a million names. Let's kind of like dumb it down to like maybe like 3 options that we can choose like eventually down the line. When the necromancer uses zombies to help move the stuff if they wanted to live with a number of characters, it's not about that. And I'm talking more in terms of game programming. Because it's easy to explain in lore, like, oh, they move their stuff from the hamlet to the necromancer's house. It's another to be like, okay, how are we putting 5 new rooms into this house so that way everyone's got a room? It's one of those scenarios. So it's like, Punny Hazel, okay. Hazel, and then let's go Seraphina list. Seraphina. So those are some options. So yeah, we'll just list at that. And we'll just keep 5 max things that just immediately come to mind. We won't think too hard on it. But yeah, again, it's more of just programming wise. How could it be possible to have 5 new rooms in one household? With that means. Or how would we justify being able to have all 5 of them in the house? Should there be like an idle animation of just like, because I want there to be a morning and a night cycle. I don't want it to be like you get 10 minutes to go through a whole day. No, I've always hated that concept. I've extremely hated that concept where it's just kind of like you have a limited time for that day and oh, you could change the time, you could change the time speed. No, there shouldn't be a need to change the time speed. Just say if you want to work to the day, work to the night. So there's going to be a morning, maybe an afternoon. I know there's going to be a morning and a night. So there's that. There's going to be a morning and a night, and you can actually select when to be able to call for night, if you would. Does that make sense? Some structures near the farm that could be small homes for the romanceables? Maybe. I mean, potentially they could have their own space close by. Yeah, that could work, but that's again down the line. I think that would be more so of just like down the line. So Persona style. Yeah, like Persona style, where you get to select when morning and evening comes around, rather than be like, oh god, I only got 10 minutes to do all of my plans. Like, oh god, I only have like 5 minutes to make sure I do all of this stuff. Like, no, that's dumb. I think that's dumb. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, we got the witch. She is more so, we already did figure that out. We got some name ideas. All right, werewolf. Werewolf, let's go ahead and do name ideas. Names ideas? Michaela, please. Then, all right, so we're looking at the wolf here. Let me pull up the wolf again for the, yep, there we go. Again, we're thinking gentleman werewolf. Gentleman with a monster inside. We're We'd be ruining kids' lives with our sleep schedule. Lamau. Castle could work. Castle is endgame. I want the castle to be endgame. I don't want the necromancer living into the castle unless you want to end the game. But regardless, werewolf. Yeah, this is a gentleman with a monster inside. He wants to be professional. He wants to be genteel. He wants to be very kind and caring, but he does. There is no neglecting the fact that he is a werewolf and he will thrash a motherfucker if he needs to. The necromancer fire game. What did I miss? It's Game Dev Monday. It's Game Dev Monday. I'm working on the game today. So it's like, yeah. Let's see. I mean, Atlas sounds really cool. Atlas, and then I always think Darian's a really good name. Darian, maybe one of the two. Just like aristocratic or just finer things. He's not like pompous in that regard. He is more of just like, he is the nice neighborhood dad, if you would. He's like the neighborhood dad. Joseph? And then we're gonna have Joseph Joestar references all over the goddamn place. He's like the nice dad that like you look at him and go, okay, yeah, sir, all right, sure. Maybe you could see him working farmhand, but otherwise it's like, it's called Jekyll and Hyde reference. But name him Jekyll? Is that a JoJo reference? Looking at, would you really see him as a Jekyll? Then you think Jackal. I don't want him to look at him and go, oh, is he a Jackal? It's a Jackal! It's a Jackal! I was like, no. And mildly NSFW here, but like, what name would you want to scream out in bed if you're with him? So I have to also think about that. Let's see. World name is Brian Lamau. Stop. Like, bro, I'm just saying, if you're romancing him, let's go to the extreme of like, okay, if we're setting on the fact that he is a romance option. Leon's hot. Well, Leon is a pretty hot name. Yeah, so I was like, Alice, Darian, Joseph, Leon, scream, Bob! Bob! Jesus Christ! It's like Atlas, Darian, Joseph, Leon, Aconite, Wolfsbane, Again, names. It's like, gentleman with a monster inside who will absolutely... Bob's your uncle. Bob's your uncle! And no, it's not Leon. No, Leon's actually a really good name. Wolfgang. Wolfgang. A little on the nose with Wolf. Little on the nose with Wolf. I mean, if we are gonna go on the nose, Damien, I already have a Damien. I already wrote a character named Damien. He's in Seduce Me. I'm trying to not reuse names if I can. Steve. Steve's cute. I like Steve. Steve is a very, very chill name. I like that. Let's see. So Atlas, Darian, Joseph, Leon, Steve. Yeah, so we could kind of stretch amongst those. 100%. Let's see. Rock and Ride you with the 20 euros. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, just as a reminder, I am trying to currently fix my house and figure out how to pay for my house. Because there was an accident in the basement and we're trying to fix it and it cost us a lot of money. So I would appreciate it if any donations could come our way. Anyways, that's the only one time I'm saying it. Romulus, Arum, something to do with gold. Wolfgang like Beowulf. Cybius. My name's Jeff. My name's Jeff. Oh lord. I do like the idea of characters having a pun name related to the species. I like the name Ronan. I might use it. Do it. War flashbacks in 2000. What do you mean war flashbacks? It's a fine game. Relax. The scariest wolf of them all. Moon. Jesus Christ, Moon. Alright. Okay. Then we have Shapeshifter. Shapeshifter. He's not. They're not as like charismatic as our witch. But they are selfless. They're very much on the selfless end. Where they're a little more calculated in terms of business. Where while Hazel uses her finesse and her charisma to really like get to where she needs to go, Shapeshifter is very much like they're the ones who actually can shift into a human form and deal with humans, knowing how shitty humans can be. Does it seem Hayden to me? Don't ask me. Oh, I know. Just because. Just because. That's a fun one. So Riley. I mean, I already have Riley in another one. I have Riley in a game that was shelved that I will go back to eventually. So Shapeshifter non-binary? Yeah, because Shapeshifter can shift forms. They also are able to. They are also themselves non-binary. Thank you very much. If particularly gender names are allowed for Shapeshifter, how about Rodin? Rodin, I mean, could be a gender. It's more like when you look at them, how do you feel? And it doesn't necessarily have to be like strictly non-binary names only. It's like, no, if they have a name, it doesn't necessarily matter what gender they claim to be. It's a name. There's one that they're happy with. Things like that. Alexander, Alex, so short when players are closer. Fair. Okay. How about that? Like spelled like that. Then Alex. Thing like that, yeah. Aki sounds unisex. Okay. Robin sounds cool. Okay. Try not to pull two into Stardew Valley territory, because we already got Alex, we got Robin. It's like, we're pulling. Just wasn't sure you wanted more androgynous sounding. I mean, Robin does sound cool, but then again, we already got Alex, and now we got Robin. We're dipping into Stardew Valley territory. Like, stealing names. Even though there are common, so it doesn't really fucking matter. Let's see. Onyx? Ooh. Onyx would be interesting. Onyx would be cool. Glenn? Glenn vibes? How about Annie like anything? I was like short and cute. I was like, meh. I like the name Sen. Like a sign. But it's a sign for the shapeshifter. Sign would be really interesting. So sign. And then one more. So I went with the gem like with Alex. Fair enough. Embry. Fox. Ooh. Ooh, that's fun. I like that. There we go. Okay, that works. Okay, we have a couple. Steven Ross with the Canadian 20, Pat. Appreciate the donation. Thank you so much. Last name McMuffin. Oh my goodness. Roarbrand. Okay. Well, we have a couple ones. Got the unit. Oh, ha! That would be you. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Fox. That'd be fun. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Robin is a bird. Fly, Robin, fly! Alright, then we have our mommy dearest vampire. Who is she is the cold, like, calculated, not calculated, she's like cold and very into herself, like introverted vampire mommy. So she does eventually open up and become a little more warm as you get to know her, but her focus has always been of like, she has claimed this hamlet as her grounds, and so she's going to protect it. And so she can be very intimidating, but there is a gentler woman inside. So Rena would be a good one. I would like to go with, I mean, it's too cute. It seems too cute. I don't want cute. I want, like, you look at her and you, instead of going mommy, what would be the another thing that you could call her that's not mommy? Let's see. Freya would be a good one. Let's go with a J. With a J writing. Mistress. Yes, MKU. Ambrosia, Karen. I don't want Karen. I want to try to avoid Karen ideas. Selene. Ooh. Selene would be a really just very nice and plucked one right there. Thrasher the Destroyer. La Mao. A noble old-timey name. Parental unit. Yes. I want to say there's a couple that come in mind. Althea. Now, mind you, these have to be also names that you would pronounce very lovingly. So, ooh, Helena. Ooh, that's a really good one. Victoria. Seems like everyone can use Victoria. That's always a common V name. V vampire. Let's see. I'm also trying to think of like more, not just European route, but I'm thinking more like Eastern European, if possible. Let's go ahead and just like swing hard. Eastern, even Northern European. Ivanka? No. Let's see. Helena could be Helena. Ooh, Helena. Helena. Demeter or Artemis, maybe? They're going to Greek gods. Yeah. Cain? Nah. Not feeling the Cain. Katrina. Ivarnia? Ivarnia? Ivarina? Or Ivarna? Ivarn. That is really interesting on the tongue. Nadia. Ivarnia. Michaela. Lol. I love that. Eileen. Helena Earth. Then Nia would be a nickname. Okay. Bob Barberson. Really? Bob Barberson? Yes, my love. Bob Barberson. Hi, we're making the game. Alright, and now we have the last romance option, the Demon. Who is our blacksmith. He is very much our chill, funny, go-to guy. Works on the anvil all day, all night. That's his love, his job. And he's been living in the hamlet ever since his inception. And he is the guy. He is the guy you go to if you need something fixed. So... Ow! Sarcastic Damien Hottie. La Mal. DV6. No, MKU. I'm not pulling from Seduce Me. Yes, his name is... Tiffany. Oh, love SAO abridged. We please name him Brian. I really want to love this to be named Brian. You mean like my husband? My husband's name? I mean, I don't mind. But he's more of the... Brian would be more the werewolf than, the demon. Let's see. Braun Ironwoods. If not, the Shapeshifter Rodin we might work really well. Rodin would be really interesting for oh. You know, not gonna lie, and take this as a joke, you guys. Please don't take this as an insult. The way that we're just throwing random names into the chat, it just feels like it's just kind of like Fred, George, Fred, Harry. This is like just random throw, like just grab a 100,000 baby names generated, just slam it into the chat. Onyx or Brimstone, Brick, Anthony, Mike. Because he's a craftsman and Rodin was a famous sculptor. Extremely fair. Darian, we have Darian for the werewolf. Brimstone demon is lol. Random government bullshit, go! Let's see. Malleus from Twisted Wonderland. I'm not trying to steal names from iconic games like that. I'm not trying to steal names. So I'm just like, if I have to make it up the name, I'd rather make up the name than to be like, oh, this character from this game, I'm gonna steal their name. It's like, nah. No, MKU. Starring Salvatore, Cole. Ooh, Cole, because like, you know, blacksmith. Let's see. Why is the name Jameson? Why is that coming up? And then no, but then it's too close to James. Samson. Then it's too close to Sam. It's like fuck. God damn it. Let's see. Marcus. Marcus is one. Marquesis and then Marcus is the nickname. Marquesis. Yeah, that's one. Let's see. Ares, we're going into Greek gods again. We are going into Greek gods again. Leroy Jenkins. Let's see. Arson. Yes, we'll name him a crime. We'll name him the crime of fire. Dia, short for diamond. Let's see. Hades. Yes, we're going into Greek there. Mars. Yep, now we're going into Roman. We went from Greece to Rome. Let's go. Rifacel, Lucifer, backward. Ion, Adam, Inferno. But would Inferno be a name? Because it seems like more like, again, it's a place. I know, I'm just saying. Would you actually name it a person, name someone Inferno? Castrante? Not clicking off the tongue. Elijah, very simple. Elijah, written like that. A demon would absolutely be named Inferno. You know, that's fair, but I mean, Ember, Zaran, Connor. Hephaestus is a god of making weapons. That is correct. That is a fact. And people whose names are Terra. I mean, Terra could be earthy, yeah. Right, like an earthy name. Common earthy name. Yeah, instead of Inferno, Infernus. But how would you nickname? Like, would you say Infernus in bed? Would you say the full Infernus in bed? That's the thing. Again, I'm trying not to be like, oh, these are really fancy names. These are also names you need to call them in bed. Dracon, Drake for short. Ooh. That is a thing. Okay, that works. Inferno, Outferno! Yes, MKU, totally. 100% MKU. Okay, so we have a couple of name ideas, and now we're gonna go to the NPCs. Infi, as an Infi? Would you call him Infi? Fern, as an you're looking at this man, you're gonna call him Fern? Sideferno. I dare you to look at the man and be like, hey, Fern. Jesus Christ. Oh, I love the almighty, all this holy. Okay, so now we have the Moleman. Alright, let's think about the Moleman for half a minute. Alright. Gary. Yes, his name is Fern would be an ironic name. Fair, because this is a flower. Furnace. Ignis means fire in Latin, but we're, yeah. I mean, you are right. That is true. And a lot of people use Ignis as the spell as well, so. Alright, we have Moleman. Moleman! He just sleeps in the ground. He is a Moleman. And we'll go ahead and stick to like 3 rather than like 5 for the other. Well, I mean, we could also think about them. So this is, we're thinking Rossetti. We're thinking Rossetti with a little bit of less of a like abrasive nature. He is down to earth, pun totally intended. And he lives in the mountains. He really doesn't explore beyond the mountain line, except to ask for help from you at the farmland. And so the dark is his home, the rocks are his friends, and that's where he feels comfort. So that is him. I dare not put Remy. I dare not put Remy. Charlotte with the $10. How do you take it serious with the witch's name, but I had a silly idea. Magnificent, Morg for Morgana, Morg embarrassing embarrassing real name is Daisy. We've already passed the witch, but we thank you so much for the 10. Granite. The thing is with Moleman, I'm like, how do you dictate how a mole person would be named in this reality? Because it is like you are thinking like, who would have named him and what culture would he have been named for? Flint is a really good one. Barry, Sherbert the Hermit. Can he be the Bob? I like Flint. Very basic. I'm thinking very basic. Short. Basic. Things that are easy to understand. In common talk. Nothing too flashy, nothing too ridiculous. Rocco? Let's see. Something that just can roll off the mouth in like one, barely 2 syllables. Whack, like whack-a-mole. Too bad, bye, Rocco. The Moleman's modern life. Moleman's modern life. Let's see. Thinking as well. Nah. Naw's a really good one. Very common, very like very simple. Not Jonah. No. Hulk is rise with Molt. Love Mao. We'll just keep it to 3. We'll just keep it at 3. So it was like 3 of them. Like, there we go. That's 3. All right. Then not druid, dryad. We're gonna actually go dryad instead of druid. So we're gonna go to the druid. We're gonna change that to dryad because I like dryad a little more. So we have the dryad who is more. They've been in the forest since its millennia, since its inception, and they're helping the hamlet survive. But at the same time, this hamlet is full of non-forest beings, so they have to make sure the forest is not completely deforested from the expansion of this hamlet. Yeah, like a tree nymph, basically. I'm not sure whether or not I want male or female, so we're just gonna go throw a name, and we're gonna figure it out from there. Because I'm not necessarily sure if I want a male or female. I could go 100% in the middle, gender-neutral, non-binary, but all that stuff. But this is very much the illustrious, like, mythical forest being and all that stuff. Some very basics connection to nature. Florian. Oh, that's the way they name ideas. Florian. Yeah, like, or intersex, androgynous. They bend which way or another. I haven't really decided on whether or not visually it's going to represent one way or another. So that's like Briar, which is a really good one. Prunus, like cherry tree genus. Oh, interesting. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, Prunus. Yeah. It was a river, and I like that. River for a forest nymph? I see more river for like a water nymph. I'm here now. Hi, it's all good. Alright. Now, the armor is gonna be the weird one because it's a sentient suit of armor. That's what I'm thinking. Like, the sentient suit of armor is going to be the weird one. Do we give the armor a name? Does the armor get a name? Well, the only water is the forest is the river. Yeah. So it's like... Yeah, it's like, does the armor get a name? Does the armor want a name? I wouldn't think so. But you can't just call him armor. So maybe this name is actually, through their questline, given to the armor? So, like, this is a name that you will eventually bless them with? Essentially? Being that they are a sentient, non-corporeal being inside of a suit of armor, we could bless them with such of a name. He can be the Bob. Is our armor gonna be the Bob? Is our armor gonna be the Bob? That's entirely interesting. I will add that to the name idea in case there's no better idea. Like, the armor's name is Bob. Oh my god. Coming back to Ayano again? No. So if this turned out to be a quest, the name could be Player's Choice. That is true! The name could be Player's Choice. The name could be Player's Choice. Player's Choice via quest? That could be an awesome idea. We'll just go Bob or Player's Choice. There we go. We'll just go with that. The reference to Carrot and her children. Alright. So we got that kind of like down the line. Armor could also have a name based off an interest that they find. Ooh. The Player's Choice default is Bob. There we go. Player's Choice with default is Bob. So, DiGiorno. No, MKU. It's not a pizza. The armor is not a pizza. Alright. Alright. So then we have the Nyakin family. The Nyakin and her 3 kids. Again, no, I'm not returning to Ayano. Point blank. Period. So moving along. Yeah, mom. So we have the mom, and then we have her 3 kids: firstborn, middle child, and youngest. So we're not gonna I'm not gonna write name ideas, so because it's pretty obvious. So we're thinking Nyakins. We're thinking cat girls, cat people. A lot of there's got to be a lot of just purrs in the name, not like an actual literal tongue roll, but at least something that can roll off of it very like fun and is very like bouncy almost. It still needs to be serious, but I think very bouncy ideas like Iris. Iris would be a really fun one. The Nyakin mom should be named Molly. That's cute. That's cute. I could do that. That's cute. And then one more. Like a Calico, like a little Callie. Oh, Callie. Callie would be Iris, Molly, or Callie. There we go. That works. Okay. You don't have to draw anything regarding Yandere Simulator for me. I'm done with Yandere Simulator. I've moved on. I'm making my own games. I'm doing my own things. I appreciate it. Please stay here if you're here for me and not just Ayano or Yandere Simulator. Thank you. All right. So firstborn. I'm thinking firstborn is gonna be a son. Yeah, firstborn's gonna be a son, and so he is very much he feels like he's gonna be the next man of the house, and so he has to be the one to take care of his little siblings. And so he's like, I am gonna be taking dad's place because mom needs help, and he is very much a sweet, innocent boy, with big ideas of ambition. So, yeah. Hopper? Hopper could be a good one. Let's see. Because I'm thinking, like, all of the Cats station. Fucking the Cats musical. Jesus Christ! Yes, MKU, Big Brother. Thinking, Conrad Binks? This isn't a series you just want to be funny. Though Binks would be fun. Dimitri. Ooh. Dimitri? I can't spell shit. I can't spell word shit. Dimitri? I mean, that works. Dimitri also works. Let's see, Emil. Oh, then we're rocking into near territory with Emil. Oh, that would hurt my heart. Oh. Emil. That could work. Dimitri, Stardew Valley. Oh, you're right. You are correct. That is Stardew Valley. Copper, Bopper, and Hopper. Who are the kids? Larry, Curly, and Mo. Yeah. Oh my lord. Let's see. Trying to think of more names. Toulouse would be going into Disney territory. Kristoff? Kristoff would be good. Yeah, like Kristoff and Copper, Kristoff, and Emil. That could be awesome. Lupin. He's not a dog. Raoul. You like Raoul? I mean, we could also just Kristoff. Kristoff is Disney though. But we're going. I mean, too close. Yeah, it would be. Let's go Raoul. Raoul or Raoul. There we go. Raoul. There we go. That works. Raoul. Ooh, Raoul. Raoul. There we go. There you go. That works. All right, middle child. Middle child is the, I want to say the more gender neutral child. So the 3D game development plans. It's about a werewolf being reborn. Would you want to know what I usually do? I'm hoping that things go well. I'm hoping that your endeavors with game development go really well. As you can see, I'm making my own game. So best of luck to you. So yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, this is middle child has kind of established that they're not necessarily on the bounds of girl or boy. So they're kind of playing around with the idea of both. Or either or neither. Either, neither, either, either. Let's call the whole thing off. So they're kind of like bouncing around there. Blake would be a good one. Milo. Ooh, Milo! Let's go Milo. Blake, Milo. Sai, based off the slime. Ooh! Sai. That's fun. Kitty, because they don't have it. La Mao. And then the youngest, obviously, is the daughter. She... Oh, that's not what I wanted. She's kind of still wrapping her head around the fact that dad's not there anymore. So she's going to be the most emotional when it comes to what's going on. But she relies on her older siblings to kind of like get through things, and she still tries her best. Like, she can walk around, she can do basic chores like sweeping or like wiping tables and all that stuff. She can do the basic chores that can help the house. But mind you, she is not the heavy. You don't rely on her for like the heavier, more complicated shit. Elsie. Yarn trying to wrap her head around it. Elsie. Elsia! I like that. Elsia. Lindsay. Lindsay. That could be fun. Viola. There you go. Alicia, Lindsay, or Viola. That works. Tiffany. Yes. Those are some fun ones. Hi. Hello. Alright. Okay, so we have our children. That's very, very nice. Love that. They're like Alicia in my head. Yeah. All right. Then we have our Goliath, Mr. Tall Man, who the Nyakin kids climb on his shoulders and walk around the hamlet because he's that big of a guy. He's like 7 foot fucking tall. Biggest house in the hamlet because obviously he's a big man. He is one who can speak in one-word phrases, if possible. It's not that he's dumb, it's just that he doesn't waste his time speaking when he could be doing. David, the Goliath. Brutus, hails from, I'm thinking more also cultural ideals of how he came out to be. Basically his group, were more, travelers. So he had like a brood, a herd. Kind of like how D&D works with Goliath, so he had a herd that he was with. And they're very much more nomadic of nature. So not like, I don't want any sort of like pristine or sophisticated name with him. He's very much nomadic, if anything, more simpler again. Not like simple as in rock, but like simple as in things you would hear not necessarily in high society, but more so in more forest nomadic areas. Malak, Brutus, Kozar, that's a good one. Kosar, Fudo, Bor, Brem. Oh, that's it. Yeah, Brem. Bream. Brem. Brem. Yeah, Brem. Boris. Bork. Bork. We already have Fern. He's up above. We have Fern. Malcolm Goldie. Thinking also like Tyr is a god. Let's see. Ross. Oni. Turk? There you go. No. I'm also looking at my keyboard trying to see like how I can spell things properly. Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack. That works, Jack. Oni are pretty horrible, aren't they? Oni are just demons. They're just Japanese demons. Are they Oni are Japanese demons or Chinese? Ooh, wait, what ethnicity? You should find him on Twitter. If not, then he has his YouTube account. You should be able to find him there. Japanese demons, thank you. Alright, so we have our Goliath. We're spending all the stream just talking about these fucking character names. La Mao. Okay, now we have the haunted family. We have the haunted, basically, father-son duo. Basically, concept is, wife and mother, father's wife, son's mother, was accused of dark magic, of supporting the necromancer. And they are the unfortunate victims of just, you know, loving someone as a family member should. So they were cast out, and they're kind of haunted by the idea that the Holy Order would cast them out just simply for acknowledging a difference of opinion, and accepting rather than being an asshole. So of course, father lost his wife, son lost his mom. We're dealing with a haunted situation where, like, dad's trying to figure out how the hell he's gonna be able to care for his son by himself without his wife. And the son's kind of like, how am I gonna step up to help my dad? Because my dad's also, like, grieving for him. So I was like, yeah. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. Whereas, like, this family has kind of been betrayed by the Holy Order, so they have real nasty shit against the Holy Order. This could absolutely be like sophisticated, more sophisticated. Gerald comes to mind. Gerald would be Alphonse. Okay. Alphonse would be one. Gladioli. Let's see. Sebastian for the son. Cain. Ooh. Not sophisticated enough. That seems more warlord than sophisticated man who just lost his wife. Gladioli is a funeral flower meaning strength. Fair. But then you have Gladiolus, which is like comparison. Rocchio. Berthold. Did you say they were ghosts or was the wife haunted? They're not actually legitimately being haunted by the wife mom. They're more of just they're haunted by the idea that the Holy Order would betray them because simply they supported their wife in her choices. So the wife was a supporter of the necromancer and of dark arts. And the Holy Order is like, you were connected to her and you didn't submit her to the Holy Order's demands, so we're gonna cast you out. And they're like, we just wanted to love our wife, Mom. We just wanted to love her like a family member should. Shrug. We post these streams later or will only for members? I'm most likely with these I'll just post up. I'll just post up without blocking it. I don't care. Yeah, so emotionally haunted. Yeah, emotionally haunted, not supernaturally haunted. That makes sense. Yeah, so trying to think of the great kings. Because like he's like definitely a king figure. At least in his son's eyes. Apostasy for a religious reasons. Yeah. Xander, Charles. You dare treat your wife with respect? How dare! Yeah, that's essentially thinking Williamson? Will for short? Yeah, so yeah, that works. And then the son, much more simpler name. Sari for the son, the new boy that name. Okay. Yeah, Finn would be a good one. Though he can have a regular spin of that name. Finn. Sebastian. Well, then you're dealing into more fucking Stardew Valley territory. Flynn. I like Finn. More so. Like Finnegan? Almost like Finnegan. With Finn for short. Finnegan. And Finn for short. Finn for short. Son's named Sebastian, but then we're going into Stardew Valley territory. There's a character named Sebastian. Colton. Colton would be a good one. Henry, Wendy. Samson? Eugene, Finbar. Finbar. Wilhelm, if the name is Williamson. Wilhelm? Williamson and Wilhelm. Well, what about if we change Williamson to Wilhelm? Wilhelm. Wilhelm and Samson. Mary, short for Marigold. Simeon. Next you're gonna say Simone. Go, row, fight the power. Let's see. Could have the same name, but I don't want to confuse the players. I don't want to confuse players. Let's see. What if they have the same? I don't want to confuse players. All right. So let's go and leave it at that. Then we have the Clocken family, which are literally the three bears. So we have the father, mother, and child. Child probably gonna go with son. Yeah. Go son. Alright, so we have the father who works as a patrolman. He is the breadwinner. He is the strength of the family. because that is what he wishes to be. And so Clawkins, I'm more so like the bears themselves are a little more they would be in the kingdom cities, but they're not necessarily sophisticated with sophisticated names. So they do have their roots within the forest areas where their more natural roots come from. Real Frank and Tom. Let's see. I want to say like this could really reach into like more American-esque names. I dare say even more so to like Native American names, but I don't want to be like let's list off some Native American names. I was like no. Benson, that works. Let's see, Russo, Coda. Coda could be for the kid, so we can have Coda. Whoop, 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 beep, boop, ba-doop. Coda. But is that wait? Isn't there a Disney character named Coda, like a bear named Coda from Brother Bear? Isn't Brother Bear Coda? Yep. That's yep. Nope. Not doing that. Let's see. Calhoun. Calhoun. Okay, that works. Arden. There you go. Okay. Then the mom, of course, mom is like she works in the basically the Hamlet Square with the mom, kind of like helping with trade. Oaklock. Ooh, I like Oaklock more. Actually, let's go ahead and get rid of Benson. Oaklock. I like that one more. Back to Oaklock. I like that a lot more. So mom is more of the gentler. She does have a mama bear personality, but like, but she is more of the gentler side. Marin. Let's see. Here. Marin? No. Marin. There we go. So his name could be Corin. Yeah, Corin could be a really good one. Arden, Marin, and Corin. Alicia. Marin, Karen. Baby. There's another 3 tomorrow, by the way. So let's see. Was that I'm thinking G. Gianna? This? Genie? 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 There's always Genie? 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 Janie? Janie, it works. Janie's cool. I like Janie. Let's see. Geneva Conventions. She's still Jenny the Bear. Corin, and then we have, let's see. Tamo. Do I have a favorite animal? Wolves or cats? Let's see. Tamo. Child, a boy, girl, either. Boy. But you can kind of name it. Let's see. Now I'm just kind of like Poochie. Let's see. Hotch. Pachi. Pachi works. Yeah, like neutral or just right. Pachio. Pachu. 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 Pikachu. Pichu. Pikachu. Pika. Pikachu. Paichu. Pachu. 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 That works. Okay. Alright. Alright. Our last character that we gotta really think about. Our last characters. Mothman! And the flame elemental. Pachu. Yeah, Pachu. So we have Mothman and the flame elemental. The star-crossed lovers who cannot touch until we max out their relationships with both of them. This is a weird question. Is a bear person half human, half bear? Bear with human characteristics, so anthropomorphic. Let's see. So Mothman. Name ideas. Oh, we don't need to. Is Mothman trademark? Probably. That's why. Probably a good idea to give him a name. Manny the Mothman. Flame elemental. Let's just swing into the fire jokes. We'll swing hard into the fire jokes. She's a flame elemental. Raymond and Julie. Romeo and Juliet. Oh my god. Is that too much on the nose? Is it a fire lady? Yes. It is a Mothman and a fire lady. Let's see. This couple is a little definition of no baby, can't touch, I'm too hot. Literally. Amber. So that could be one. So 3 ad code. Let's go. How is Mothman not in the public domain? I don't think Mothman is, like, I don't think the concept is. I think that if you write Mothman with the capital M is like a taken name. That's what I'm thinking. So I don't know. Let's see. I'm also thinking I don't want like names that are just like American, like Kylie or anything like that. I want like these are more fantastical fantasy names. So yeah, so ooh, Aaron. Ooh. Aaron, that could work. Or irony. Luna or irony. Play on Wick. Ooh, Wick, that's fun. Yeah, Wick is fun. Wick. Let's see. Alright, Mothman. Mothman. A Felthen for the moth. Felth for short. Ooh. Felth. Then. Felt. That works. Leppy for Mothboy. Ooh! That's the scientific name for moths. I like it. Leppy. Let's do that. Leppy. Oh my god, Leppy and Wick! That sounds so sweet! That sounds so sweet! Make the moth French. Make the moth French! Farron. Yeah, Leppy and Wick sounds so cute. Leppy, no! Fralia work? All bears are gay. The gay community. Okay. Okay. I'm also thinking. What is... Do we know... Sorry. You need a thunderstorm to about to write you. Mothman. Let's see. Is it the full genus of moth? Is Leppy? To Irene, then Aaron. Oh, Irene. Oh, Irene. Not. There we go. Irene. Yeah. I fixed it. It's longer, but I shortened it. Oh, fair. Bourbon, like urban legend, is used for sprites. Oh. Bonin. 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 Lepidoptetra. Ah, okay, cool. Do we add a P? No. Bonbon. Yeah. So instead of Bonon, she goes Bonbon. That's so sweet. That's really sweet. Ah, this is really sweet. Ah, this is gonna be so cute. My goodness. Leppy with 2 P's instead. Let's go like the Leppy. Yeah. Amber, Irene, and Wick. Okay, so we have a couple of names. Great. We have all of these cool names that we thought of for these characters. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun to kind of like decide down the line. So that he burns alive when they touch. That's why they don't. That's why they don't touch. And I want in the design down the line for Mothman to essentially have a burnt hand. Because he attempted to touch her. So I want him in design to have a burnt hand. Whether it be in a cast or whether it be like showing the burn scars on his hand. On one of his hands. But yeah, so. Okay. Gonna burn like perfect. Okay. So of course, I want to be able to do quest lines, and so with these quest lines, obviously with the romantic options, you can choose not to go for the romance. So like for example with the witch, like the witch has been very happy about your arrangement that you have with her. Or she's curious if you could produce a specific spell component for her. While she enjoys selling your product, she wants to try some of it, and there's gonna be a quest line topic, basically the title of the quest line, and then and then we get to the description of what kind of the quest is about. And each of them are going to have 5 hearts or 5 stars. 5 stars if you're not romancing them, or if they're not romanceable, or hearts if they're romanceable. So, of course, we have small sampling, which is the witch. You can give her a certain spell. I have yet to determine which one. We'll figure it out. Will things be locked off if you don't do romance? Because that would suck. No, because you can continue the quest. If you don't romance them, you could still do the entire quest line. It's not like you'll be locked out. So at max, all of them have 5. But you won't go beyond that because, again, that's not the point. The point of it is, if you want to romance them, there are options to romance them. If you don't want to, you can say no. But you can still be really good friends with them. So, things like that. You touch your best friend to help you, little Mao. The burnt near the hand would be obviously shorter. Yeah, things like that. So obviously you give her a spell component. 2 heart lover plants. After approval of what she is selling, she finds herself fascinated with the farm and by the plants you have your zombies lay out. She asks about your knowledge of plants and you to exchange knowledge as a means to spend time together. This is where you spend time. Again, you give another spell component to kind of show like even more knowledge of like the things that you've done. We'll figure it out. It'll be a higher level spell component of some kind. They get a plot point the flavor feels awful about burnt hand. Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. There are so many things I want to do with Flame Moth. I call them the Flame Moth couple. I'm like, there's so many things I want to do with them, but that's not the point. How fluffy would Mothman be? Very fluffy. Very fluffy. Not like a big puffball fluffy, but like the cuter moths. I mean, no, I don't want him to be cute. I want him to be like the Mothman. So maybe like, not like rat. Let's go rat. Let's go rat fluffy. But back to Witch, and then we have Thrill of the Unknown, which visits you with a very cautious mindset. She wants to know about your travels and your attempts to dominate the world, previous attempts to dominate the world. She just wants to know more about you, and of course, instead of you gifting her something, you talk to her in the village at night, and you spend time with her at night. Obviously, it's not going to be, oh, you spent time with someone, it's time for you to go to bed. It's never going to be like that. I don't want to be like, you only have enough energy to talk to one fucking person. That's dumb. You should be able to spend your time talking to as many people as you need to. Unless, like, all of a sudden the quest line's like, oh, you end up in their bed. the night. And then sure, it can make sense that you go into the night without like talking to anyone else. But yeah. So it's like you're workable? I don't care. But yeah, so eventually you'll be able to have conversations with everyone, so have that moment with them. Experimentation. The witch stops by and presents an idea for you, an experimental potion she wants to try out. However, as you direct the source, you are the direct source of ingredients, she asks, so you get 5 specific, ingredients to give to her. And if you have all 5 of them, then she'll accept it. Because if you, I don't want it to be like, oh, you give it to her one at a time. You have to be like, give all 5 of them at once. Will it be polyamory friendly? Yes. I want you to be able to choose if you want to romance. For example, if you want to romance the witch and the vampire. Or if you want to romance all 5. If you want to romance the witch and the werewolf. Or whatever. I want it to be where, like, again, the romance options are adults. They understand, like, that romance is a little bit of a thing. And they're not going to be like the whole, if you deny their romance, it's going to be, they're never going to be like, oh, well, I'm sorry, I thought you had the same feelings for me, I feel bad. No! That's dumb. They're just gonna look at you like, okay, cool. Then we will remain friends, and we will keep things as friendly as possible. They're not gonna be like that jilted kind of, we could have been lovers sort of bullshit like that. I hate that, I don't want that in my game, so I'm not gonna add it to my game. What if I romance all 6? There's 5 romance options. There are 5 romance options. But yes, you can romance all 5. Yes, if you want to romance all 5, be my guest. And that's what I kind of want. Would there be then interaction between multiple lovers? Judge do polyamory? I would... Again, I'm trying... Again, we're playing a little bit of development here. My mind right now is more focused on getting these quest lines down first. But... eventually down the line, when I think of more NPC interactions, because obviously I have to build the hamlet. What are people doing in the hamlet? There obviously you have the Nyakin mom and the Clockin mom in the town square. You want to all of that stuff. So no Gale going. No, all of the romance options in any game has always been the whole. If you deny them, be like, oh, well, I thought we had a thing. No, shut up. But. What are they doing in the hamlet? Sure, they can have interactions, and if you are in a poly relationship with them, they could have a little bit of like a tee-hee, did you see the necromancer? I know the necromancer's so cute. Tee-hee, they can have that kind of a moment. But that's, again, far off in the future. My focus right now is on, 1, developing them, but also all of that stuff. How will the polyamory work? Will you have a conversation with your first partner asking if you want more partners? I think all of them will be very direct on the fact that, like, if you wish to romance other people, be my guest. I want to be able to add that naturally rather than you have to ask permission. Because I don't want to program asking for permission. Like, me programming asking for permission is kind of like, okay, that's another additional parameter I need to add, rather than just me going, hey, they're just gonna lay it out flat. You can romance whoever the fuck you want on top of them. That's fine. Who cares? So yeah, that's just a reducing a parameter need for my end, and that just makes things easier for my dumb walnut brain to understand. Let's see. I do have a Discord server. I just have yet to like, not asking for permission, asking if you want. Again, that's far down the line. We're not even there yet. We are not there yet, y'all. We are not there yet. You see these goals right here? That's the focus right here. These goals right here. These goals are the focus right now. Tell me about my game and the backstory of it. I'm focusing on my game, but appreciate you. Let's see. Polyamory culturally accepted in this universe. Exactly. I mean, BG does have poly. It has a poly of Harlot going, because I'm not gonna live long enough, you could romance whoever the fuck you want, and I'll be fine. And then Astarion going, it's fine, whatever the case may be, sure. But yeah. Polyamory in that regard is like, okay, sure. Let's shrug a bit and call it polyamory. And I mean, sure, it could be polyamory in the case of, yeah, you're fucking Halcyon while you're dating Astarion. But are you able to be with Karlach, Shadowheart, and Lae'zel at the same time? No. I want full polyamory option on this one. But again, you see those? You see those goals right here? These goals right here? These are my focus today. That's my focus today. Because if I go anywhere else, I'm not going to get shit done. All right. And of course, like, you get the 5 specific gifts, and then the witch, with the ultimate potion, she basically tells you that, yeah, cool! We made the potion! That's really, really cool! And of course, she's excited to continue forward with it, with being able to buy your ingredients and all that stuff. And she talks to you, and then you have the potential of being in a relationship with her or not. Shrug! There you go. Never heard anything about the subject before. For a new person, can you tell me more about this game? Long story shortened to a very descriptive idea. You're a necromancer who failed on taking over the world, and now you are running a farm. Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, there you go. Okay, now I've been slowly working on the werewolf one. So yeah, werewolf, again, gentleman with a monster inside. That is, it's a gentleman character with a monster inside. So, of course, he's going to introduce himself in the most gentlemanly way, very nice way, very polite way possible, because he wants to make a good impression, and he wants to maintain his personality of being a really nice and friendly guy. So, of course, if you give him a fruit, this is kind of like a temporary, like, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna give him something. We're gonna gift him something. In order for us to, like, have that success in the request line. I will be right back. Pardon me. I put standby on, and it didn't fucking work out like I thought. So I'm stupid. It's fine. Don't even worry. I'm not even worried. Let me move things. Okay, cool. Hi. Why are we calling the void? Lamau. Let's call void. Anybody? Sorry about that. A friend of mine called, and usually I only take calls during emergencies, so I had to make sure she was okay. She is okay. It's just a matter of she didn't know that I do this whole thing at a certain time. So it's all good. How are you able to break up the tasks of how to make your game? Like, whatever I try to do, I wing it, to be honest. I think about today, I'm like, what am I doing today? Okay, I'll focus on this, and that's why talking to you guys, it's great, but now we're getting to the whole, well, programming, how are you going to make the polyamorous ship work? How are you going to make all that? No, focus. You see those goals? Right there? Those goals right there? Those right there? Yeah, that's the focus today. We're focusing on that. Game Dev Monday is going to be a regular thing. Game Dev Monday will be every Monday at 3 to 5 of me talking about my game development, seeing the direction that it needs to go, getting your input, and if shit's hitting the fan, if it's like, hey, this is a really shit idea, don't do it, I'd rather be told now than be like me develop a whole fucking thing and all of a sudden, this developer added this thing and blah 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 blah. So yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's one of those things. So yeah, I'd rather use this time to be not only that, but also to be held responsible for continuing game development projects, rather than let my imposter syndrome dive me into a corner and never return to game development again. So yeah, this is me taking responsibility and me going, I'm going to be held accountable for making this game. Let's go. So yeah, how are you still moving despite leaving your work desk? I didn't leave my work desk. I just answered my phone. But yeah, I didn't leave my desk. I just answered my phone. Let's see. But again, werewolf. Let me go ahead and pull up werewolf concept. Werewolf. I'm clicking on way too many things. And no one wants to be what happened, Lamau. So of course, again, werewolf, gentleman with a monster inside. He very much introduces himself. He's thankful for your partnership with the hamlet. This is after you agree to kind of help the hamlet with your farming. However, he knows that you are the front line against the Holy Order because your farm is literally between the hamlet and the Holy Order. As such, he takes upon himself to give you a welcoming gift. He, of course, you feel obligated to give a gift back. So this is more of like a who cares. But I'll replace that later. But you give him something back to finish the quest line, etc., etc. Management blues. Werewolf is having issues trying to improve the hamlet. And of course, he's trying to figure out like how to help the hamlet grow and not just be like a survival situation. It needs to be a home. It needs to be a town of livable people. So I figured, give him wine or give him something that would help him to succeed the question so he could relax a little bit. So yeah, and then three hearts. The werewolf is the werewolf kind of finds out who exactly you are because you're not necessarily telling everyone I used to be the necromancer that tried to take over the world. It's more of just you just kind of laid low and you just kept to yourself. But the werewolf kind of put two together and made a fish, and he figured out who you are. However, instead of like trying to confront you about it, he's more like, what happened? He's more like, what's going on here? Like, what is the deal here? And he wants to hear your side, so you basically talk to him in the night to finish the quest. Now, the next one, I've yet to write all these out, like, because I'm still trying to develop them as they come into my head. Inner Struggles, basically a group of adventurers find the hamlet, but are stopped by the werewolf. In defense, he attacks them after they taunt and prod at the idea of attacking the hamlet. You offer comfort. Offered? Yep, offered. And I don't need a comma there. You offer comfort after the massacre. Things like that. Is this similar to what happened between Charlie and... Huh? I don't know. I don't know what that is. If it has been a hotel, I don't watch it. But yeah, so basically, those mangy murder hobos. What is the hamlet? It is the town that you're kind of helping develop with your farm. So yeah. Offered? Comfort. Offered? Yeah, you offered comfort after the massacre with a gift and a shoulder. If I could spell shoulder correctly. And a shoulder. As bony as it may be. So of course, we're probably going to gift him 5 things to be determined to succeed. Quest line. There you go. Does the game have a name yet? I do have a name for the game. I'm not releasing it until I make a logo. I do have a name for the game. I'm not publicly saying what the game is until I make the logo for it. So yeah, but it's gonna be really cute. It's gonna be great. I find it funny. I find it funny. No one else is gonna find it funny because I literally said it. So of course, like again, it's gonna be a group of adventurers. Kind of, they don't. Mind you, the farm is not the only thing bordering the forest. Adventurers can go around the farm to get to the hamlet if they wanted to. And of course, a group does. But of course, the werewolf and the vampire are protecting the hamlet. So it's just kind of like. But yeah, so got that going, and then calm clarity. This is kind of like the werewolf kind of pouring out his heart at this point. He's like, I want to be able to be strong and all that stuff, but I do know that I am in essence a monster. The werewolf sits down, wants to sit down with you and relax after a large amount of mayor work. He wants to be better, but he knows who and what he is. Because of your nature, you give him an ear to speak into for comfort. And of course, this is the same concept. The same concept. Just basically talk to him and at 260. Is the title a pun? A little bit. Basically, the last one is like, what are you gonna do? Kill us? Right, for real. You have backstories written for each of these characters, not in full depth. Like, I don't have like a full page of character descriptions for the werewolf. Like, I mean, going up here, because I literally fucking wrote this whole thing. Mayor of the nearby hamlets, hidden away from the hero kingdoms, the village keeps to themselves and lives on their own means. As the witch and the shapeshifter provide import and export, he provides guidance to the townsfolk. So yeah, like, I don't have a page written for their thing. So I was like, yeah, so that is his route. Again, I've yet to write all these out. I have somewhat of an idea, and you can, and again, if something doesn't sound right, be like, Michaela, that's a bad idea! And then I'll be like, stop? Okay. Now, of course, I've started all of these friendship lines, and oh my god, I only have 30 minutes left of the stream. Since you haven't released an official title yet, what should we call this game in the meantime? I don't know. I'll give you the acronym. Of what it is. So, that's my math, me trying to do math. So, the acronym is HOST. HOTS. That's the acronym. So, if you want to do a hashtag, HOST, there you go. There's the acronym. HOTS. So, yeah, that's the acronym if you want to, like, use a tag or whatever. But that's the acronym of the title, HOTS. But there you go. There's the acronym for it. There we go. Let me go and put that centered. There you go. But yeah, that's the acronym. Heroes of the Storm. Oh, that's a copyrighted thing. I got the hots for this game. You get it? You get it? It's meant to be a thing. Alright, but of course we have the Shapeshifter. Shapeshifter's questline is going to be mainly about like how they're not trying to match the witch in terms of charisma, but they know that they need to perfect their human disguise in order to be able to talk to the human towns and sell the wares that they're trying to sell without like being called out as a monster. And they know already how dangerous the Holy Land can be. And they know how pretty much like how they're going to kind of deal with it. And they come back while the witch deals with mainly adventurers and like the ones who deal with like potions and all that stuff. The Shapeshifter is the one who deals with the everyman in these towns, and the everyman are a bunch of assholes. Because they're a bunch of Karens and Chads and all those motherfuckers who feel like they can yell at you if you have the wrong item for sale and blah 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 blah. You needs to be Hots enough to sell our wares. House of Hatsune Miku. Oh my god. But yeah, so and also during this trying to be a perfect face for Robert, I am focusing on my game. I'm not focusing on anything else. I appreciate you being here though. So the Shapeshifter, while trying to deal with how they can be a face towards the humans, they also are trying to have they are also having an internal struggle of how they're dealing with the fact that they're not ever going to be like, there is like a big prideful moment of, yeah, humans fucking suck. I'm glad I'm not a human. But at the same time, there is the level of, I have to deal with them, and they do have their own struggles. It's understanding that there is a fear that humans do have, and it's recognizing kind of that front. So let me go ahead and bring up the fucking Shapeshifter, because I have the Shapeshifter. Like that. Vampire. Vampire, again, very cold, very like, this territory's mine, very to herself. What is the culture of shapeshifters? As with any fantasy creature and all that stuff, shapeshifters can be whatever you kind of deem them to be. with shapeshifters in this regard, they're the ones who can jump around between monster and human. Does it have a... Yeah, I want them to have a little bit of an identity crisis where they're like trying to necessarily understand that they're humans obviously are the struggle. that's the acronym right there. But it's them kind of understanding that while humans are assholes, not all of them are, but the fact of the matter is the shapeshifter themselves have been cast out as a monster. They don't know whether or not what to really think of humans without necessarily regarding them in a favorable light or in a negative light, things like that. Again, vampire, very not soft-spoken, small-spoken. She focuses more on her job as the protector of the hamlet. When the werewolf's not there, the werewolf and her are like buddy, let's go. They are literally the clap meme of like two strong folk clasping hands and all. That's them. That is the vampire and the werewolf, rather than them being like all of that. They are the meme. But her relationship questline is about her kind of getting out of that mentality. So she talks in lowercase. Yeah, she talks in a little bit of a lowercase. She's not like quiet, but she's more of less words need to be spoken unless needed. She's a Kudere, essentially, if you're going into like a more cliche like idea. Of just she'd rather focus on her work and her job than try and make a conversation that can distract her. So her backline is that she used to be able to have a home for herself. She was like not royal but noble. She was like of noble descent and all that stuff. She had power, but then the Holy Order came around, and of her being a vampire plus the Holy Order, not a good combination. So she ran, but of course she was chased after, and so she's trying to like deal with the fact that she was betrayed by people she trusted, and she decides to keep to herself. But now she claims the hamlet as hers. She's trying to protect it with as much strength as she could instead of running. So she's done running. She just wants to protect something that she could finally have. It's kind of like that, where she's like, you can't touch my shit. Not violent blood, it's just business. Yeah, just business, like, keep out of my hamlet. Sort of. Kudere is basically like cold spoken, where it's like they don't necessarily show lovey-dovey natures. They're more of just like, they know you're there, they recognize you're there, they do love you, it's just that they don't necessarily elect to like show it in the I love you so much sort of way. Why waste time saying a lot of words when few words do the trick? Yeah, so while she was always a quiet type, she was always a small spoken type, as a noble, it got to the point where she kept majorly to herself once she hit the hamlet, because the people she trusted to help her escape betrayed her. And so she's like, enough trusting others, it's time for me to protect me and my own. And so that's why she buffs up, she builds up, she becomes this strong figure in the hamlet. And so, of course, with the necromancer being here, she's literally just an introvert a little bit. With the necromancer being here, the goal of the necromancer is to kind of help her break out of that glass ice cage, because she put herself in there, and the necromancer's kind of trying to like, hey, it's okay to feel feelings, it's okay to feel this betrayal, it's okay to feel all of this while still being strong. And it's one of those things where the necromancer has to slowly kind of unravel that with her. And she never goes into the submissive state. Let's be quite frank, this is mommy, she is mommy, she's always going to be mommy, but she will never she's not the type to like faint into your arms or anything like that. She is more of, she is the switch that will happily dom. Submissively, she is not of the I'm going to bend the knee and be under your foot type of submissive. She is, I will let you take my hands submissive. Does that make sense? Does that make sense in comparison? I want to know if that genuinely makes more sense than, like, she can be, like, a bottom, quote unquote, but not like a bottom as just, like, begging or pleading or things like that. She's more than willing to let you guide her by the hand, not go on her knees in front of you. That's kind of the direction I want to go with her. We see the Holy Order is fascist. I say the Holy Order is ridiculously religious, like extremist religious. So yeah, fascism aside, it's more of, it's controlled by religion. Remind me who we can romance again. You can romance the witch, the werewolf, the shapeshifter, the vampire, and then the demon. It makes enough sense where my brain doesn't hurt comprehend it. Yeah. In your mind, have you worked out who you want for their voices? I'll be straight out. I either go for the witch or the vampire. I'm not gonna lie. Either the witch or the vampire is kind of swinging for me. I'm not gonna do both. Obviously, I'm not going to do both. Because I want to give an opportunity for an actor to take a role. But like, I could swing to either of those two. In terms of anyone else I have in mind, I haven't developed the characters yet. I haven't developed all the characters yet in order for me to have a voice for them. As much as previously in my life, I used to be like, I have to know who I can get these to voice these characters in order for me to bend them and mold them. I want to try and go the other way around, where like, I want to mold these characters first and then have an actor bring in their side and bring in their acting chops to help fully flesh out this character. And that kind of cool. So yeah, so it's like, yeah. All of them in that order. Love Mao. Since she's a vampire, she did not go outside during the day and have some kind of sun protection. She'll have an umbrella with her. If she does go out during the mornings, she'll have an umbrella. And this umbrella, I want it to be a specialized umbrella where it's a full, like fully encased, like fully covers her body type of, like, from the top. So like width-wise and circumference-wise, it covers her body from the sun, but also it has black lace around the side of the umbrella. It looks like a fancy nobleman's umbrella. So I want it kind of like that, where it fully protects her top to bottom. So she can walk out in the sun rather than like just be a vampire who only appears at night. So yeah. And yeah, I want the umbrella to be a weapon. But yeah, so there's that quest line. Demon quest line is all about him kind of coping with the fact that he no longer lives by himself. No hat. I thought of a hat. We could make it a hat. Do we want it to be a hat? Because I don't want a hat to be... I don't want the hat to be like, oh, it's the whole, like, Asian triangle hat. I don't want that. I don't want the Asian triangle hat, nor do I want a Lady Dimitrescu summer hat. I don't want the razor... I don't want the Lady Dimitrescu summer hat. I don't want the long Chinese hat. But it needs to be a big fucking hat for a big buffy vampire lady that can protect her from the sun. So I have to really think about that. So yeah. Is there a condition that makes people allergic to the sun? Do you use that inspiration to figure out? Maybe. Potentially. I don't know. I want her to... Because I'm thinking in design-wise, what kind of a hat would make her not look like a cutie patootie? I want her to look like she can stomp your ass to Sunday. I want her to stomp your ass to Sunday. But I want her to have a hat that is good enough in a design that it's not Lady Dimitrescu. I don't want a Lady Dimitrescu hat. And I don't want the big Chinese triangle, the big Chinese pyramid hat. I don't want that. So I'm just kind of like, how do we get a hat that's not either of those two for a gigantic muscly vampire woman? A cowboy hat to rival Dimmadome. Yes, 100%. Is the game going to be open world management kind of like game or pure management? I'm thinking more leads toward pure management game. There's only two locations that I want to be able to kind of deviate out. One is the farm. Farm is going to be long. So it's gonna have like the house and the entire farm that's gonna span. It's gonna go from top to bottom. So at the top is the farm and the beginning of the farmland. Then all the way down is the gate, the front gate of the farm. You have to travel up the farm in order to get to the house. So that's how also the battle system is gonna get. Sombrero, really? A mushroom hat. Mushroom hat. Mushroom hat. Whatever could it mean? It means you need to hide from the sun. Anyways, but yeah, and then the second location is the hamlet. So there's only 2 locations, which is the farm and the hamlet. I will never have you visit the Holy Order. I'll never have you visit the forest outside of it, except for like obviously those are like if you meet in the forest and all that stuff, like the dryad, the werewolf cutscene. But those will be small, non-explorable areas. And if there is like callbacks to the Holy Order, like meeting with the priests and all that stuff, like them talking and having your whole omniscient being seeing what's going on, that'll be just a piece of art, and then the sprites on top. Or just give her an umbrella. That's the thing, just give her an umbrella. Give her an umbrella. Because she is a noblewoman, she would have an umbrella. So just fix it with lace and she can walk out in the sun. Anyways, demon. Focus. So demon. We can only visit 2 places. Currently in my mind, because, okay, I'm going to reiterate this over and over again. I am the only one making this. I am a single developer. It is me, myself, and I. If I myself cannot do it without having to hire help, it is not happening. I do not have the money, I do not have the funds to be able to hire people. So if I myself cannot handle it on my own, it's not happening. So right now, it's 2 places. It is the farm, and it is the hamlet. Those are the 2 places I can handle. With the large hat with a veil and one seed, maybe. Conductor's hat. We're gonna move on from that. We're moving on from the vampire. We are gonna move on from the vampire. We're moving on from the vampire. I would like to focus on the demon now. Look at the look. What is it? Okay. Look, guys. Look at the pretty demon. 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 We're on him now. Look at the pretty demon. Look at the pretty demon. We're on now. Okay, there we go. Okay. No big shout at the Holy Order HQ? No. Anyways, okay, so, demon. So, the demon, what I want with him is that he's kind of coming to terms with the fact that he no longer lives alone in this forest. He kind of worked by himself in the forest because he was by the mountain. It was really nice. He could make his stuff without being interrupted. Now people are here, and he's like, well, it's kind of getting used to the fact that he has more orders to fill because he's obviously helping making furniture, building houses, and all that stuff. And it's him just kind of getting used to that. And while he is typically, again, a very chill, funny guy, it's still kind of exhausting the fact that his arsenal of work kind of exploded overnight. Shaking the demon blacksmith to get our attention. I don't have my keys. I'm not Joel. I don't have my keys. I'm not Joel. I don't have my keys. So I'm like shaking, like, hey guys, pay attention. So yeah. For the horror movie, these are just concepts. It's not meant to be anything like that. These are not official drawings. These are just concepts of ideas. How did he get in the mountains in the first place? He came from the mountains and now he just lives off in the outskirts. So yeah. He's a socially awkward demon. He's chill, he's vibing, he's a really relaxed guy. He just wants to do his job, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Do you have a Patreon or something? No, I do not have a Patreon anymore. I would like to open up my coffee down the line for eventually this. When I'm done paying off the emergency basement situation, I still have to find a way to pay off $3,000. Which $3,000 I don't have, and I have to pay it off in the next 20 days. 20 days? In the next 25 days. Yeah, in the next 25 days, I need to figure out how I'm gonna raise $3,000. But that's here far in between. But does he even need help? Does he even pay bills? No one pays bills. They do trade. Surprised the other to go. Oop, demon in the forest. Let's go. We're killing. But yeah, so that's kind of his line. It's more relaxed. But it's more of just, again, it's him getting used to the fact that he's not alone anymore. And he never should be alone, because being alone sucks, and being alone will drive you crazy. Alright, and now we have the NPCs that we are not romancing, starting with the Moleman. Moleman I've already written out, and basically it's kind of incongruent with his mechanic. So with the Moleman and the Dryad, instead of just like gifting random stuff, the Moleman and the Dryad will actually ask for your assistance in the mountains and the forest. So you can actually send zombies to help out help out the Moleman and the Dryad, and they'll bring back like metals and salts and rocks and like trees and lumber and leaves and etc, etc, etc. Robert, this is probably the last time I'm gonna like bring this in, all this stuff. I would like to focus on my game. The stream is about focusing on my game. I cannot answer how to talk to Cameron. I do not talk to Cameron outside of like Discord that he's already talked to me through, and then Twitter. So I do not know how you can get to contact him. Please find a different way. I am not the go-to to figure that out. Thank you. I would like to focus on my game now. Thanks. But again, with the Moleman and the Dryad, all of this is about you can send zombies to help them out, and their quest line is about you agreeing to send a certain amount. For like the first one, it's 5 zombies, then 7 zombies, then 10 zombies. But of course, you'll be able to talk to the Moleman, because the Moleman and the Dryad have homes in the village, in the hamlet. So digging a hole, again, yeah, like a business deal almost. So the Moleman's very curious to see how durable your undead horde is. He commissions a high quantity of undead to help him in digging a hole. Of course, there's gold in that mountain. Approving of the durability of your undead army, he asks for more assistance in finding more precious metals in the mountains. Second test, if you would. A break from the dark. He comes for a social call, and he just wants to genuinely know about you. He knows about your zombies. They're pretty good zombies. They're really cool. Great zombies. Who are you? And that basically that kind of conversation is about like him getting to know you and getting to know like, oh, you hail from beyond the forest. You hail from the Holy Land. Okay, so what did you do beyond the Holy Land? And all that stuff. And it's kind of like more bare bones than later. 4-star is like he hit the jackpot. He hit mithril. Mithril is a highly sought after material in the mountain. And of course he wants your help to procure the mithril. So that's 4-star. Then 5-star is him talking more in depth of the fact that you have seen beyond the forest, seen beyond the mountain line. And it's him trying to like come to terms with like, huh, what else could be more important than the mountain? And like you kind of provide that outside expertness, because him going beyond the forest line, that's not happening. Yeah. Do you have to send the zombies immediately, or will you do something a potion? I'm gonna call the lab and give time limit to send the zombies. I don't think there's a time limit. I don't want there to be a time limit. You can send out zombies. It'll be like, okay, it's kind of like how Honkai, or how like any sort of like, I would say like a food fantasy, where you send out like little troops. So you send out like, you select 5 zombies, you send them out, and they'll be gone and unusable for a certain amount of time, and then they'll come back. There may be consequences, be like, oh, a zombie died while helping the Moleman, or something like that. There will be consequences depending on how dangerous the job is. But that, again, that's mechanics down the line of how I kind of want to do that. But yeah. So it's kind of like that, where you can send them out, they'll be gone for a long period of time, and then they come back. Either they come back with goods, or they die. Yeah. Dryad is going to kind of be the same way, but again, because the Dryad is not necessarily like his opposite companion, the Moleman, the Dryad is more, let me go ahead and show the Dryad. The Dryad is more of just, their primary concern is making sure the forest is safe. So the Dryad has actually been fighting a lot of adventurers and keeping them away from the forests. And them asking for your help is not just like helping replant seeds or making sure the trees are okay. It's more of just them helping protect the forest, if you will. And of course they bring back lumber and all that stuff, but the Dryad's quest line is like having that assistance, because the Dryad knows that not everyone gives a shit about the trees. No one really gives a shit about the deforestation of the forest that the dryad cares about so much. And it's the dryad trying to kind of reconcile with that, and also kind of talk with the necromancer of trying to find a balance of what is acceptable and what is not. So the dryad's not going to be like, don't cut down the trees, eat less meat, or nothing like that. It's more of the dryad opening their eyes to understanding that humans don't give a shit about the forest. They never did. And it's them trying to figure out whether or not they truly should be putting all this effort into fighting back, or if they should fight back to the degree that they have. That makes sense. Protecting your home and land seems to be really themed. Yeah, 100%. If zombie dies, then the moment would pay you to compensate. Yeah, that's what I like that. Yeah, mechanic. Okay, now I like the idea we had with the armor, or Bob. I guess we're gonna call him Bob. I like the idea that the armor doesn't necessarily speak much. And hell, I don't believe the armor should speak in full sentences. I believe maybe like one-word phrases that are just kind of like forced out of the corporeal form that's inside the armor should be able to be a thing. But I do like the idea that the armor is kind of nameless and kind of just unsure of whether they exist. Armor go clang! So the fact that the questline is going to be revolving around the armor kind of coming to term that they don't have a master to return to. The master's dead. But they never got they never really got that closure to be de-summoned in a way. Wasn't the dryad changed? Yeah, it was a druid, not the dryad. Robert, it's completely okay, but again, just so you know, the focus is on this. So not a problem, just please keep that in mind. But yeah, so the armor, I think what the necromancer can do, because the necromancer does know about like summoning things and giving personalities and all that stuff, is kind of helping the armor kind of reconcile with the fact that you're a thing now. You are a being now. You can do things. So that's kind of what I want to have in mind for the armor's friendship questline, and eventually the 5-star will be Armor gets a name. There we go. That's the 5-star is Armor finally gets their name. Other than just being called Armor, or Hey You, and all that stuff. So yeah, the 5-star will be Armor gets a name. Okay, now I want to separate the Nyakin mother and the children. I want the children to all be a collective friendship rather than you trying to individually befriend all of them. Can we teach the armor to talk? That'd be cool. That'd be an interesting part of a questline. But yeah, the Nyakin mom and the children. So, of course, Nyakin mom dealing with grief because she is literally Abuela from Encanto, who watched her husband literally get killed in front of her. So of course, she has to kind of step up and help her kids, like, not die. But of course, she's kind of grappling with the situation herself. So whenever she's working in the square, she's kind of like mentally battling grief and mentally battling the fact that she hasn't had the time to sit down and grieve the fact she lost her husband and her children's father. So that is all about like helping her understand grief. And as a necromancer, as someone who does play around with death, you kind of help her out because obviously you're not going to try and resurrect her husband. That's not going to be a thing I want to add into. I think as a necromancer, I want you to introduce the idea of being allowed to grieve and being allowed to have that emotion, despite the fact that you are in a position of protection, that you are in a position to be a protector. Just because you're a protector doesn't necessarily mean you have to just be strong and just not cope. So yeah, that's what I want her questline to be, where you can provide that guidance on how to properly grieve for the ones you lost. And of course, the children, on the other hand, they're a little more of a sensitive idea where, like, they know dad's gone. They didn't see dad get cut down. They weren't there. because mom protected them very well. But they know dad's not around anymore. Youngest kid obviously doesn't know why. The older two, they know why. And so they're kind of trying to figure out how they can support mom without dad around. And so they're obviously gonna be kids. I don't want them to be like, we're gonna grow up immediately at like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Like, I don't want that to be the message. I want the message to be like, how can we support our mom now that dad's not around? Knowing that she's working so hard to provide for us. So yeah, it's kind of like that. Could playing with and looking after the kids help out for increased friendship? Maybe, potentially. Again, that's some mechanic stuff that I want to try and figure out how we can increase friendship. Obviously, there is going to be gift giving. There's going to be, like, if you talk to them every day, obviously your friendship will go up. By the way, fuck friendship decay. There will be no such thing as friendship decay. I hate friendship decay. There will be no friendship decay. So, there's that. But, will there be multiple choices and multiple endings, such as good, neutral, and bad? There's going to be 2 endings. You either succeed or you don't. If you don't, there's a bad ending. If you do, it's a good ending. Only 2 endings. But yeah, then what is friendship decay? So friendship decay in a lot of casual games, basically if you don't talk to your friendships, basically they'll stop thinking of you as a friend. I fucking despise that. So it's one of those things that is a commonplace in casual game. I hate that. So if you talk to them and you build a friendship, it's okay if it's okay if you don't talk to each other for a while. It's fine. So it's like, yeah. So with Nyakin children, I again want to be like, I want to have them all kind of figure out how they're going to help mom, and you as the necromancer, who's also helping Nyakin mom, I hope, is kind of helping them kind of not necessarily grow up, but find ways to help out around the house more so than just cleaning, I guess. Making it to where mom does come home and feel like at home rather than like, this is the place we've escaped to. So yeah. They have other friends. But yeah. So there's that. Like one of them learning how to cook, one learning how to like decorate the house, one learning a skill down the line that they can help out with, etc., etc. Armor rescues the children, hiding them inside. So, oh, that's sweet. Okay, then we have the haunted father and son. Yeah, that's the Nyakin family. That's mom and 3 kids. That's just kind of the design-wise I want to go with. Oh, did I not put the Goliath? Oh, son of a gun! I did not put the Goliath. Son of a bitch. Good to know. I need to put the Goliath in there. There we go. So, good thing I did this, huh? Right? Goliath. All right, the Goliath. This is the one that's kind of like, this is the one I'm not necessarily sure how to handle. This is one I may need a little assistance with in determining how to like figure this one out. Because Goliath, he's content living in the hamlet. I'm like, what? He's content like living in the hamlets, helping it, protecting it, etc., etc. It's not like it's a big deal for him. So I'm not necessarily sure how would one forge a friendship with him. Yeah, he works with the demons to give materials. And he's the one who picks up all of the stuff that you sell in your selling bin, because obviously, as a farming sim, you have a selling bin. You could sell stuff in the bin. But yeah, so it's like, with the Goliath, it's like, how do I bridge that friendship between the necromancer and the Goliath when the Goliath is pretty fucking content? So that one is like a gigantic fucking question mark. So that he could be worried about the Holy Warrior attacking the hamlet. Extremely fair. He could be of the warrior side, and is he larger than that? He's 7 foot tall. He's 7 feet tall. Honky donkey bahonky. big man. Big man. Giant man. Instead of a giant woman. Giant man. But yeah, so that's that one. That's, again, I'm gonna try to figure out over time Because I'm at, oh my god, I'm at 5 o'clock already. I know, I'm trying to wrap things up. I'm trying to, okay, so, quickly down the line. The haunted family of haunted father and son. So, haunted father, again, the haunted father and the haunted son, they're trying to cope with the fact that their wife/mom, supported the necromancer, and they accepted her differences, and they accepted the fact that she was not like them who followed the Holy Order. They were cast out of the Holy Order because they supported her. And basically, father's trying to figure out how to support the son by himself. And also trying to figure out, like, what the fuck do I do? Because I lost my wife. And it's kind of like that. It's less of grieving that she's dead and more grieving of he's already accepted her death because she died doing what she loved, and so he's already okay with that. It's a matter of how to support his son and the fact that the Holy Order betrayed. And so, of course, the son is more of like, how am I going to step up to help my dad? Because my mom is usually the one guiding me while dad was off being a noble politician. So how am I going to cope with the fact that my dad now is in the same room as me more often than not, etc., etc., etc. But that could be a Goliath, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to speed through this because I'm actually out of time because I actually got to get going. Again, 3 to 5, that's my timeline for doing online stream stuff. Mind you, I am game deving off stream. I am working on the game off stream. It's just, I have a limited amount of time. Clock and family. Obviously, mom, pa, and child have different interpretations of what they can do. Father is kind of concerned of whether or not adventurers will invade the forest. Mom is trying to be like, we're trying to make a happy, healthy home inside of this hamlet. It's gonna be really great. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Husband, it's fine. Child's going nuts. And the child is just kind of coping with... The child is more of like a very aloof. The clock and child's very aloof of what's going on, thinks everything's an adventure, and wants to go beyond the forest line. And it's up to you to be like, hey, don't go beyond the forest line. It's not a good idea. They'll kill you. And then, of course, last being the Flame Moth family. Mothman wanting to be able to touch his essential partner, but is unable to, and so he feels like he's not worthy of her because he fought to be with the Flame Elemental, and he even left his clan to be with the Flame Elemental, but because he can't touch her, and because he feels like he's unworthy, like he feels very much a lot of self-doubt. And so his friendship quest line is kind of like bringing himself up how he's going to be able to like be with her and all that stuff. Now the Flame Elemental, on the other hand, she was a princess. She was a princess of the Flame Elementals, but she chose to be with the Mothman. And so she wants to be able to eventually touch him and eventually be with him. And since the relationship is like, we can't touch each other, this is bad, or else we're gonna burn each other, Flame Elemental actually comes to you to try and figure out a spell to be able to let her touch him. So that way she can help love him and basically make him feel like he's worth. Because she already knows he's worth. And so it's kind of like that kind of dynamic. Okay, I'm out of time. I'm over my time limit. I talked way too much about the names. But yeah, so that is my time limit for the day. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. Tomorrow will be Persona 3. Wednesday will be Valentine's Day. It will be Date with Lynetta. If you want to date Lynetta, Wednesday's the day to come check out Date with Lynetta. And then Friday is going to be Little Goody Two Shoes. I know, I'm so sorry. We're just finished up. But you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. Have wonderful sweet dreams, and I will see you all next time. Love you all. Bye!